Tonight, we investigate a critical fault line in America's justice system: Miranda rights violations. Specifically, our focus tightens on police coercion and the undeniable evidence often captured by body-worn cameras. These devices, once heralded as tools for transparency, are now revealing systematic pressures designed to elicit statements, sometimes at the expense of constitutional protections. The footage is reshaping how courts view police conduct, offering an unfiltered look at interrogation tactics in real time. This isn't just about reading rights, it's about the integrity of every statement made in custody. The Miranda warning is a cornerstone of American law, a safeguard against self-incrimination guaranteed by the Fifth Amendment. It informs suspects of their right to remain silent, their right to an attorney, and that anything they say can and will be used against them. This warning must be given prior to any custodial interrogation. Failure to properly issue this warning, or circumventing its intent, constitutes a severe constitutional violation. The stakes are incredibly high, affecting the admissibility of evidence and potentially the outcome of a trial. It's more than a formality, it's a fundamental liberty. Understanding when Miranda rights apply is crucial. The key trigger is custodial interrogation. This means a person is in custody, deprived of their freedom in a significant way, and being questioned by law enforcement in a manner likely to elicit an incriminating response. If either element is missing, Miranda warnings are not strictly required. However, police tactics often blur this line, using ambiguous phrasing or environments to avoid triggering the warning requirement, even when a suspect feels pressured. BODYCAM footage provides vital context, clarifying the conditions of detention and questioning. Police coercion, often subtle, represents a profound threat to Miranda protections. It involves officers using psychological tactics, intimidation, or misrepresentation to pressure suspects into making statements, even against their will. This coercion can manifest before a warning is given, or after a suspect has invoked their rights. The goal is simple: secure a confession. Historically, proving coercion was difficult, often relying on conflicting testimonies. But today, body camera footage offers an objective lens, capturing the verbal and non-verbal cues that reveal undue pressure, changing the dynamic of courtroom battles. The advent of police body cameras has revolutionized criminal justice, particularly in cases involving Miranda rights. These devices act as unbiased witnesses, recording every interaction between officers and suspects. For the first time, courts and juries can see precisely how Miranda warnings are delivered or not, and the subsequent interrogation tactics employed. Footage can capture the officer's tone, body language, and the suspect's demeanor, providing crucial context often lost in written reports. This visual evidence is a powerful tool for accountability, allowing for a more accurate assessment of whether statements were truly voluntary. One of the most straightforward Miranda violations is the outright failure to provide the warning before custodial interrogation. Data suggests this occurs more frequently than often perceived, leading to countless suppressed statements. Officers might delay the warning, hoping to gain initial admissions, then Mirandize and re-question. This question first, warn later strategy, known as the searing technique, is explicitly condemned by the Supreme Court. BODYCAM footage provides definitive proof of whether the warning was given, when, and how, eliminating disputes and holding officers accountable for these critical omissions. Coercion isn't always overt, often, it's implicit, a subtle manipulation of a suspect's psychological state. Officers might use a calm, reassuring tone while implying cooperation will lead to leniency. They might present false empathy, acting as if they are on the suspect's side. These tactics, while not direct threats, can create a coercive environment where suspects feel compelled to speak. BODYCAM footage, when analyzed by experts, can reveal these nuanced interactions, exposing patterns of psychological pressure that erode a suspect's free will. It's the silent pressure that leaves a lasting impact. A particularly insidious form of coercion involves the question first, warn later strategy. Officers interrogate a suspect without Miranda warnings, obtain incriminating statements, then finally provide the warning, and ask the suspect to repeat their confession. The Supreme Court has largely invalidated this technique, recognizing that once a suspect has confessed, the Miranda warning loses its effectiveness. Bodycam footage is critical here. It definitively timestamps when questions began, when rights were read, and whether there was a break in the stream of events sufficient to mitigate the initial violation. It ensures accountability for tactical manipulation. Verbal pressure from officers during interrogations can easily cross the line into coercion. This includes aggressive questioning, repeated statements of guilt, or dismissive responses to requests for an attorney. Bodycam footage captures the exact words used, the tone, and the frequency of such pressure. Defense attorneys can use this audio evidence to argue that a suspect's will was overborne. Without bodycams, such claims often devolve into a he said, she said scenario. Now, the recording speaks for itself, providing undeniable proof of how a suspect was interrogated, moment by moment. Another form of coercion involves officers making false promises to suspects. This could include implying a lighter sentence, dropping charges, or guaranteeing release in exchange for a confession. Such promises render any subsequent confession involuntary and inadmissible. While officers are allowed to use some deception, outright false promises are typically prohibited. Bodycam footage provides concrete evidence of these exchanges, capturing promises that officers might later deny. This critical visual and audio record helps courts determine if a suspect's confession was a product of their free will, or of deceptive police tactics. Explicit threats or intimidating behavior by law enforcement unequivocally constitute coercion. This includes threats against the suspect's family, physical violence, or even prolonged detention without access to basic needs. Such actions strip a suspect of their ability to make a free and voluntary decision. Body camera footage has become indispensable in documenting these severe violations. It records not just overt threats but also the chilling undertones, aggressive stances, and physical proximity that convey intimidation. This direct evidence empowers defense teams and strengthens judicial oversight, preventing confessions born out of fear. Beyond explicit words, the tone and demeanor of an interrogating officer significantly influence a suspect's psychological state. A condescending, dismissive, or overtly aggressive tone can create a coercive atmosphere. Bodycam footage, with its audio and visual capabilities, captures these crucial nonverbal cues. It allows for an analysis of how officers communicate, how they react to suspects' silence or requests for counsel, and the overall psychological pressure exerted. This rich contextual data helps determine if a suspect's waiver of rights or subsequent statements were truly voluntary, or the product of an intimidating environment. Lengthy, relentless interrogations are a classic coercion tactic designed to break down a suspect's resistance through exhaustion. Depriving a suspect of sleep, food, or restroom breaks over many hours can severely impair their judgment and will to resist. Bodycam footage can document the duration of an interrogation, the breaks taken, and the suspect's deteriorating physical and mental state. This timestamped evidence is crucial for demonstrating that a confession was not freely given but extracted under duress and fatigue. Courts increasingly rely on this objective record to assess the voluntariness of statements made under such conditions. One of the most fundamental Miranda rights is the right to an attorney. When a suspect invokes this right, all interrogation must cease immediately until counsel is present. However, bodycam footage has revealed instances where officers continue questioning or attempt to dissuade suspects from obtaining legal representation. The video record provides undeniable proof of these continued interrogations post-invocation, or efforts to undermine the right to counsel. This evidence leads directly to the suppression of any subsequent statements, reinforcing the critical protection that an attorney provides in ensuring a fair process. It's a non-negotiable right. Police are generally permitted to lie about evidence during interrogations, a tactic known as false evidence ploys. They might falsely claim to have DNA evidence, eyewitness accounts, or a co-defendant's confession. While often legally permissible, these tactics can become coercive, especially when combined with other pressures. Bodycam footage captures these misrepresentations, allowing courts to evaluate their impact on a suspect's voluntariness, particularly for vulnerable individuals. It provides a detailed record, enabling analysis of whether the deception, however legal, overbore the suspect's free will, leading to a false confession. The mere presence of a body camera can act as a significant deterrent against coercive police behavior. Officers, knowing they are being recorded, may be less inclined to employ aggressive or unconstitutional tactics. This observer effect encourages adherence to protocol and respect for Miranda rights. While not a foolproof solution, the increased transparency fostered by bodycams pushes law enforcement toward better practices. Departments adopting robust bodycam policies often report a decrease in citizen complaints and use of force incidents, reflecting a shift towards more constitutional interactions during custodial interrogations. It encourages professional conduct. Bodycam footage has transformed judicial review of Miranda violations. Judges now possess a direct, objective record to assess claims of coercion or improper warnings. They can meticulously examine the entire interaction, from the initial contact to the full interrogation, identifying subtle pressures or overt breaches. This objective evidence empowers courts to make more informed decisions regarding the admissibility of statements, rather than relying solely on subjective accounts. It streamlines the legal process, often leading to quicker resolution of disputes over police conduct and reinforcing constitutional protections in the courtroom. Miranda rights and the prevention of coercion are fundamental to due process, the constitutional guarantee of fairness in legal proceedings. When coercion contaminates an interrogation, it undermines the very foundation of a fair trial. A coerced confession, even if true, is legally invalid because it was not given voluntarily. Bodycam footage reinforces due process by exposing these violations, ensuring that justice is not merely served, but seen to be served fairly. It highlights that the process by which evidence is obtained is as crucial as the evidence itself, safeguarding against abuses of power. The primary legal remedy for Miranda violations, particularly those involving coercion, is the suppression of evidence. This means any statements or evidence obtained as a direct result of an unconstitutional interrogation cannot be used against the defendant in court. This powerful tool incentivizes law enforcement to adhere to constitutional safeguards. Bodycam footage provides the clear, irrefutable proof needed to trigger suppression, preventing unlawfully obtained confessions from tainting a trial. It serves as a stark reminder that even truthful statements can be excluded if procured through illegal means, upholding the Fifth Amendment. In cases where Miranda violations and coercion are later discovered, especially through newly reviewed bodycam footage, convictions can be overturned. This painful but necessary process ensures that justice is ultimately served, even if belatedly. An overturned conviction highlights a profound systemic failure, often leading to retrials or even outright release. While victims and communities may feel frustrated, upholding constitutional rights is paramount. Bodycams are crucial in bringing these injustices to light, ensuring that only convictions based on voluntarily obtained evidence stand. It's a testament to the power of transparent evidence. When bodycam footage exposes police coercion and Miranda violations, it severely erodes public trust in law enforcement and the justice system. Transparency, while painful, is essential for healing this rift. Seeing officers disregard constitutional rights on camera fuels community skepticism and can lead to increased tensions. Rebuilding trust requires accountability and visible reforms. Bodycams, by holding officers accountable, paradoxically offer a path to restoring faith, but only if violations are consistently addressed and corrected. The footage serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between public safety and individual liberties. Bodycam footage provides invaluable insights for law enforcement training. Reviewing incidents where Miranda violations or coercive tactics occurred allows departments to identify specific training gaps. This includes proper Miranda warning delivery, recognizing signs of suspect vulnerability, and avoiding inappropriate interrogation techniques. The footage can be used as a teaching tool, showing real-world examples of what not to do, and demonstrating best practices. By proactively addressing these gaps, departments can reduce future violations, enhancing officer professionalism and upholding constitutional standards from the ground up. Distinguishing between a consensual interaction and a coercive one is a constant challenge. Officers often engage in pre-Miranda questioning, attempting to gather information before custody is established. Bodycam footage provides crucial evidence in determining when a casual conversation transitions into a custodial interrogation. The difference between a suspect voluntarily cooperating and one being pressured into speaking is a fine line. Bodycams clarify this by recording the entire exchange, from initial contact to formal arrest, allowing courts to accurately assess the voluntariness of statements and whether Miranda warnings were appropriately timed. A suspect can waive their Miranda rights, but this waiver must be made voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently. It cannot be the product of coercion, threats, or trickery. Bodycam footage meticulously documents the process of a waiver, capturing how officers explain rights and how a suspect responds. This allows courts to scrutinize if the suspect truly understood their rights and freely chose to speak. Any indication of pressure or misunderstanding, visible in the footage, can invalidate the waiver, leading to suppression. The visual record is indispensable for ensuring the integrity of this critical legal step. Bodycams are active from the moment officers engage with a suspect, providing a comprehensive record from initial contact. This is crucial because coercive tactics can begin even before formal arrest or transportation to the station. Officers might use intimidating presence, suggestive questioning, or restrict movement, creating a custodial environment without explicitly stating it. The footage captures these early interactions, which are often pivotal in determining when Miranda rights should have been issued. This complete narrative allows for a more thorough examination of police conduct from the very outset of an investigation, leaving fewer gaps. The interrogation room itself is a controlled environment, designed to disorient and pressure suspects. Its starkness, isolation, and lack of external stimuli contribute to a suspect's vulnerability. Bodycam footage, whether from fixed cameras or officer-worn devices, captures the dynamics within this space. It documents the officer's movements, gestures, and the suspect's reactions, revealing how the physical environment amplifies psychological tactics. This spatial context is vital for understanding the coercive potential of the setting, complementing the verbal interactions and providing a fuller picture of the pressure exerted. Juveniles are particularly vulnerable to coercive interrogation tactics due to their immaturity, lack of understanding, and susceptibility to authority figures. The courts apply heightened scrutiny to Miranda waivers and confessions from minors. Bodycam footage is indispensable in these cases, allowing judges to assess a juvenile's developmental stage, their understanding of rights, and the extent of pressure applied by officers. It reveals if an adult, like a parent or attorney, was present, and whether the interrogation was age-appropriate. This objective record helps protect the rights of young suspects, ensuring their statements are truly voluntary. Suspects with mental health issues or cognitive impairments are also highly susceptible to coercion. They may struggle to understand their Miranda rights, the implications of waiving them, or the nature of the interrogation itself. Bodycam footage can provide visual evidence of a suspect's mental state, confusion, or distress during questioning. This helps legal teams argue that a waiver was not knowing and intelligent or that the confession was involuntary. Identifying these vulnerabilities through footage ensures that police tactics are adapted, and that individuals unable to comprehend their rights are not unjustly pressured into self-incrimination. At its core, bodycam footage documents officer conduct. This record is vital for internal investigations, public oversight boards, and criminal proceedings. It moves beyond subjective police reports, providing an objective account of interactions. When allegations of Miranda violations or coercion arise, the footage allows for a dispassionate review of the officer's actions, tone, and adherence to procedure. This documentation fosters greater accountability within police departments, encouraging officers to maintain professional standards, knowing their actions are being recorded. It's about ensuring integrity at every level of law enforcement interaction. The widespread adoption of bodycam technology has armed defense attorneys with a powerful new tool. Legal challenges to confessions and statements are now increasingly supported by incontrovertible video evidence. Attorneys can pinpoint exact moments of coercion, improper warnings, or rights invocations that were ignored. This shift places a greater burden on prosecutors to ensure the legality of how evidence was obtained. Cases that once relied on an officer's word against a suspect can now be definitively resolved by the footage, leading to more robust legal arguments and fairer outcomes. Bodycam footage exposing Miranda violations and coercive tactics has driven significant policy changes within law enforcement agencies. Departments are revising their training protocols, developing stricter guidelines for interrogations, and emphasizing the importance of constitutional compliance. Some policies now mandate specific procedures for handling vulnerable populations or for documented breaks between questioning. This proactive approach aims to minimize legal challenges and build community trust. The evidence captured by bodycams is not just for courts, it's a catalyst for institutional reform, pushing departments towards more ethical and lawful practices nationwide. When Miranda rights are violated through police coercion, it often constitutes a civil rights violation, leading to significant lawsuits against individual officers and their departments. These lawsuits seek not only to compensate victims but also to compel systemic changes. Bodycam footage provides critical evidence for plaintiffs, substantiating claims of unlawful interrogations and deprivation of rights. The financial implications for cities and police departments can be substantial, incentivizing adherence to constitutional standards. These civil actions, bolstered by video evidence, play a crucial role in enforcing accountability beyond criminal prosecution. The future of police interrogations is undeniably shaped by bodycam technology. As camera quality improves and policies evolve, we can expect even greater transparency and scrutiny. This demands that law enforcement agencies embrace best practices, focusing on rapport building and evidence-based questioning, rather than relying on coercive tactics. The goal is to obtain reliable confessions that stand up in court, not just any confession. Bodycams are driving this evolution, pushing for a justice system where constitutional rights are paramount, and coercion becomes a relic of the past, fully exposed by the lens. To fully leverage bodycam technology against Miranda violations, best practices are essential. This includes clear policies on when cameras must be activated, guidelines for footage retention, and independent review processes. Proper training on activating and using cameras is crucial, as is accountability for officers who fail to record. Transparent policies build public trust and ensure the footage is used effectively for both prosecution and defense. Without these safeguards, bodycams risk becoming mere surveillance tools rather than instruments of justice and accountability, obscuring, rather than illuminating, the truth. Prosecutors hold significant power in addressing Miranda violations and coercion. They are responsible for reviewing bodycam footage, identifying unlawful interrogations, and making ethical decisions about the admissibility of evidence. A prosecutor's commitment to upholding constitutional rights is paramount. When footage reveals coercion, they have the duty to suppress illegally obtained statements, even if it complicates their case. This gatekeeping role is essential to ensuring that justice is pursued fairly and that police conduct aligns with legal standards. Their integrity reinforces the entire justice system. For defense attorneys, bodycam footage is a game changer. It provides an objective record to challenge the legality of arrests, Miranda warnings, and confessions. They can use the footage to highlight police coercion, improper questioning, or violations of the right to counsel. This evidence often allows for motions to suppress, potentially leading to dismissal of charges or stronger plea negotiations. Defense teams rigorously analyze every frame, every word, and every gesture, leveraging the transparency offered by bodycams to protect their clients' constitutional rights and ensure a fair legal process. It's an essential advocacy tool. Ultimately, public awareness of Miranda rights and the potential for police coercion remains vital. Citizens informed of their rights are better equipped to assert them, reducing the likelihood of being pressured into self-incrimination. Educational initiatives, often informed by bodycam footage of past violations, empower individuals to understand when to speak and when to remain silent. This collective knowledge serves as a critical counterbalance to potential abuses of power, ensuring that Miranda isn't just a legal formality but a practical protection for every person interacting with law enforcement. Knowledge is power, especially in custody. The central theme connecting Miranda rights, police coercion, and bodycam footage is accountability through transparency. Bodycams have introduced an unprecedented level of visibility into police interactions, making it harder for violations to go unnoticed or unproven. This transparency forces a reckoning, demanding that law enforcement agencies and the justice system confront and rectify issues of coercion. It is a powerful mechanism for reform, ensuring that constitutional protections are not just theoretical but actively enforced. The lens of the bodycam captures the truth, paving the way for a more just and equitable system for all. Decades after Miranda versus Arizona, its principles remain as vital as ever. The right to remain silent and the right to counsel are not mere legal technicalities, they are bulwarks against compelled self-incrimination and foundational to a fair justice system. As policing evolves with new technologies like bodycams, so too must our vigilance in upholding these rights. The camera ensures that the spirit of Miranda, not just its letter, is honored in every police encounter. It's a continuous battle to balance effective law enforcement with individual liberties, a balance that bodycams are now helping to enforce more rigorously. The evidence is clear: bodycam footage is indispensable in detecting and preventing Miranda rights violations caused by police coercion. As citizens, advocating for strong bodycam policies, robust oversight, and transparent review processes is crucial. Demand that your local law enforcement agencies embrace these tools and policies. Support legal organizations working to protect civil liberties. Only through continuous public engagement and diligent oversight can we ensure that the promise of Miranda is fully realized, safeguarding justice for all. The fight for fair process is ongoing, and bodycams are a powerful weapon in that fight.